The bell hasn't rung yet, but the fight is already over. She just hasn't looked down at the canvas yet. 12 minutes, one radio booth, one microphone in Atlanta, and the entire 15-year fortress that Claressa Shields spent her whole adult life stacking, brick by Olympic gold brick, cracked clean down the middle on a broadcast that the producer swore nobody would replay. But somebody hit record, and somebody leaked the part that got buried in the edit bay. And what is sitting on that leaked audio file right now, moving quietly through DM threads in 3 different cities, is the exact reason her own management allegedly stopped answering the phone 48 hours ago. You think you watched the meltdown happen on Big Tiger Show. Sweetheart, you watched the trailer. You haven't seen the movie yet. The movie is 68 seconds long, and it doesn't have a YouTube upload. It is not coming to a YouTube upload. That is the entire point. Let me drop you into the room nobody is supposed to know exists. 3 days after the radio interview that the internet has been arguing about, a private audio file started bouncing between reporters, promoters, and at least 2 people allegedly cashing checks from the inside of her own management company. 68 seconds. That is the entire length of the file. I'm not going to play it for you tonight. I'm going to do something far more dangerous than playing it. I'm going to walk you through what is on it, one line at a time, and let your own brain assemble the picture the lawyers are praying you never see clearly. The receipts on getting louder by the hour. The phones are ringing in rooms you and I are not invited into. Inside that minute and 8 seconds, the woman who has crowned herself the greatest of all time more often than she has thrown a clean jab in the last calendar year, allegedly admits on her own voice to 3 specific things. She admits the Zeus reality show is dead in the water. She admits the May fight curse is nowhere near the figure she has been quoting in public press runs. And she admits plainly, with the producer's mic still hot, that she has not put in genuine championship-level training in over 4 months. 4 entire months. And then the producer killed the feed mid-sentence. So sit with that and ask yourself the only question that genuinely matters tonight. If that is what is moving in private right now, what do you suppose is sitting on the audio that has not started moving yet? Because that one is coming. I promise you that one is coming. The timeline on these things is never long. The timeline never lies. Rewind the tape with me. Big Tiger Show. A Rap City legend, a man who has shared booth space with Jay, with Lauren, with Andre, with everybody who ever stepped through Atlanta with a verse and a story worth telling out loud. He does not flinch on camera. He does not reach. He is the calmest interviewer the South has ever produced in 30 years. And inside the first 60 seconds of Claressa walking through that studio door, his entire face froze in real time. Pull the replay. Watch it frame by frame. His eyes break off the camera twice. Once at the 41-second mark, once at 1 minute 58. That second glance is the precise moment Big Tiger figured out he wasn't conducting an interview anymore. He was supervising a slow-motion car crash with no airbag and no seatbelts. Every screenshot is a witness. Every witness is a problem nobody on her team has solved yet. She had one assignment. One, sell a fight. Promote May 9th at Gateway Center Arena. Walk in, smile, drop the date, walk out the door with a paycheck. Instead, she opened her mouth and delivered a confession when the building was paying her for a commercial. How do you keep ending up on every blog? That was the question. A softball, a throwaway, a question any veteran fighter dances off the ropes in 10 seconds flat without breaking eye contact. The wedding? Ghost. The reality show? Ghost. The shared address? Ghost. The matching last names on any public document? Ghost. The only thing actually multiplying in this entire situation is the secondhand embarrassment piling up on her own timeline while she scrolls through her own comment section at 3 a.m. with the brightness all the way up. Insiders close to Papoose's camp, and I cannot say more than this without burning a source I need for the next 3 stories, are allegedly telling people he has been emotionally separated since last summer. Read that twice. Emotionally separated since last summer. Well, she's out here on Atlanta radio writing love anthems and resume monologues about a man who is geographically and emotionally on a different floor of the building, sometimes a different building entirely, sometimes a different zip code. Now, remember the Zeus Network announcement, cameras everywhere, press releases, the whole Claressa and Papoose empire that was supposedly going to crash the platform on day one of release week. Where is it? Where is it? No premiere date, no teaser drop, no trailer, no countdown clock, no leaked stills. Just a silence so heavy the silence itself has started showing up in search results above her own name. Nobody wants their name attached to whatever is in that contract folder right now sitting on somebody's legal desk. And on Big Tiger's microphone, she had the nerve, straight face, no blink, no flinch, no hesitation, to claim she has been offered many television roles, but she is, and I quote, too real for TV. Big Tiger did not even pretend to react in real time. He looked at the off-camera producer, he looked at the wall clock, he looked at his hands, he looked anywhere a camera could not catch him, reacting honestly, because every single body in that studio knew the Zeus deal had collapsed already, and the corpse was not even called yet. The room knew, the microphone knew, the intern setting up the chairs knew. Here is the part I have to phrase carefully because I value not being sued in 3 different jurisdictions. Multiple sources are pointing out one specific contract demand on the Zeus paperwork that allegedly assassinated the entire negotiation before it left the conference room table. That demand did not come from her. That demand came from him. The greed that sank her television future did not originate inside her own head. It walked through her front door wearing his shoes in his briefcase with his lawyer's letterhead. And she is still defending him on interviews she does not even have to take. That moment is going to age like milk in a Houston summer parking lot in August. That is not a wife. That is a co-signer on a sinking ship who has not realized the cold water is already at her chin and the lifeboats left an hour ago. Now, we cross into the part of the story that stops being sad and starts being genuinely dangerous to her professional license, because she sat across from Big Tiger and announced with the most televangelist energy in the city of Atlanta that she trains constantly, that greatness costs sacrifice, that she lives a life of silence and prayer, that her body is a temple maintained by discipline and surrender. Open a second tab, pull up her Instagram right now. I will wait. I will genuinely wait. Hit pause if you need to. I need you to see this with your retinas, not mine. Welcome back. Now describe what you just scrolled through. Fried turkey ribs, mac and cheese with the crust still bubbling in the pan, fried okra dripping grease into a paper towel, turkey wings glazed in something her cardiologist would cry over, loaded fries with 3 different sauces, candied yams under a blanket of brown sugar so thick you could chip it with a knife, cabbage simmered with smoked neck bones, chicken, fried again, plated again, posted again, all of it uploaded in the weeks leading directly into a professional title fight on national television. Name one elite combat athlete on the planet eating that menu inside fight camp. Just one, out loud. You cannot, because that athlete does not exist outside of fiction novels. The internet never forgets a quote like the one she gave on that microphone. And then the smoking gun, the little white tub of sweet sweat gel. She slathers it across her stomach, across her arms, across her sides, across her back, like it is a magic eraser for the cardio she did not put in last month. She is trying to topically rub away the consequences of the road work she skipped at 5 in the morning. That is not a world champion's preparation routine. That is a TikTok mom trying to zip her jeans before Sunday brunch with her in-laws watching. She announced she is dropping to 160 to fight Lauren Price. At this trajectory, she is not making 160. She is not making 170. She is going to be lucky to walk onto the scale at 180 the morning of weigh-in and not snap the official's clipboard in half on her way past it. Every promoter sees it. Every veteran coach sees it. Every fan with 2 functional retinas sees it. The aura is gone. And once the aura disappears in the sport, you do not earn it back. You become a cautionary anecdote that veteran trainers tell their juniors at 6 a.m. to scare them into doing their road work without complaint. The footage exists. The footage is time-stamped. Trust me. Now, let me lay the contradictions on the table one by one, like exhibits in a case nobody filed but everybody is reading on their lunch break. Exhibit A. She said on the record to Big Tiger's audience that she's furious Floyd Mayweather is coming out of retirement because, quote, you don't mess with perfection. In the same interview, the same 12-minute window, the same microphone, the same broadcast, she named Laila Ali, retired, undefeated, the literal embodiment of perfection in her own division, as a fighter she wants to step into the ring with tomorrow afternoon. She violated her own commandment before the sentence finished cooling on the metal of the microphone. That is the part nobody can spin, no matter how creative the PR team gets behind closed doors. Exhibit B. She said she hates when people lie on her name. Then she named 50 Cent as a target for repeating a quote that Terrence Crawford said first, on the record, in full view of 3 cameras. So where is the smoke for Crawford? Where? Nowhere. There's none, because Claressa does not pick fights with people who can punch back with verifiable receipts and a microphone of their own. She picks targets she has already calculated will not escalate. That is not a champion's instinct. That is a content creator's instinct dressed up in boxing gloves. Exhibit C. She tried to send her own protege into the ring with Lauren Price first. Now she wants the fight herself, but only after the protege got dropped on the canvas in front of God and everybody with a phone. Translation? She used another fighter as a temperature reading, as a stress test, as a sacrificial pawn on the chessboard. That is not the instinct of greatness. That is the instinct of a focus group wearing gloves and a mouthguard. Exhibit D. She called Laila Ali too old while publicly dating a man inside the exact same age bracket as Laila Ali. She wants to be the female Floyd Mayweather while publicly crying about Floyd Mayweather coming out of retirement. The contradictions are not accidents. They are not slips of the tongue. They are not bad press cycles. They are the entire operating system her career runs on. They are how she gets through breakfast every morning without choking on the coffee. Now, lean closer, because this is the moment the mask did not slip. The mask did not fall. The mask hit the studio floor, cracked into pieces, and the entire room saw exactly what was underneath. And what was underneath is uglier than what is on top of it. Quote from her own mouth. When they talk about me, they're really talking about themselves. They're miserable. We should pray for them. Sister, you are them. You allegedly run multiple anonymous accounts that argue with critics inside your own comment sections at 2 a.m. with the volume off. You film yourself crying. You film yourself preaching. You film yourself threatening. You film yourself flexing. You film yourself eating. You film yourself re-eating the same plate. You crash out. You re-crash out multiple times every single day, sometimes 3 times before noon. You are not the victim of the algorithm. You are the engine of the algorithm. You are the one cranking the handle and selling tickets to your own circus. The math does not lie. The math has never lied to anybody. Every accusation she has hurled at the internet this calendar year is a confession with a delayed fuse on it. Broke? Her bag by multiple insider accounts is drying up faster than a leaked Versus set on a dead Vimeo link. Fake? She has announced the same baby 3 calendar years in a row, like the world is supposed to forget the previous announcement. Clout chasing. She booked the interview herself. She called the station herself. She showed up early. She wore the outfit. She picked the lipstick. Miserable? Pull up any of her unedited live streams from the last 60 days and try, with a straight face and a steady camera, to convince me that woman is at peace inside her own skin. This is not gossip anymore. This is not blog content. This is the most psychologically transparent celebrity self-immolation of the entire calendar year. And the most painful part, the part that keeps me awake at strange hours, is that she is smiling while she lights the match. Here's the 5% of the story you haven't heard from anybody else yet. The part I have been holding back for the viewers who actually scrolled this far down the timeline with me. 2 nights ago, a former member of her training camp, and I cannot name them, I will not name them, my source protection is the only reason I get the next story, was allegedly approached by a competitor's camp to share what really went down during her last camp cycle. Approached, not bribed, just approached. That source allegedly said no. For now, but the very existence of that conversation, the fact that conversation got initiated at all in a coffee shop in a neutral city, tells you exactly where her stock sits in the sport right now. People who used to fear her are taking meetings about her. That kind of silence is louder than any press statement she could fax out next Monday morning. Layer on top of that, a small movement is allegedly building inside the boxing media to push for a serious documentary-style deep dive on her actual training footage versus her publicly claimed sparring partners. Names are being compared on private spreadsheets, schedules are being cross-checked against gym entry logs, receipts are being pulled from camp Wi-Fi networks and time-stamped folders, and the gap between what she says she is doing publicly and what witnesses allegedly say she is doing privately is, let us call it, cinematic. Feature film length. I am not breaking that story tonight. I am telling you the story is coming, and I am telling you exactly who it is coming from. Not me, not bloggers, people inside the sport, people with press credentials, people with paychecks she once respected and may soon answer to under oath in a deposition room with cameras rolling. One final layer before we render the verdict tonight, because while everybody is staring at the obvious, the interview, the threats, the food posts, the baby announcement carousel, the real story is happening in the corners nobody is photographing yet. 3 of her former sparring partners have quietly unfollowed her this month. No statement, no drama, no call-out post, just a slow, surgical retreat from her tag photos and her story mentions. In professional boxing, the unfollow is always the first letter of the goodbye. Watch who else disappears between now and May 9th. That disappearing list is the real scoreboard. The story writes itself from there on out without anyone needing to speak. 2 podcast hosts who once defended her every Monday have stopped mentioning her name entirely this quarter. Pull the search history, run the date filters. The silence is louder than the takes they used to record at full volume on Tuesday afternoons. And the people still standing next to her in photographs, ask yourself how many of them are paid to be there. Then ask yourself how many of those are being paid to stay quiet about what they have already seen behind the curtain. The silence circling this woman right now is starting to sound exactly like the silence that came before every other public collapse you have ever watched unfold in real time. You already know the answer. You have just not said it out loud yet. So let us name this, out loud, just once, cleanly, with our chests. Claressa Shields is not the G-GOAT anymore. Claressa Shields is the GWAT, the greatest walking advertisement for self-destruction in the modern history of combat sports. She had every single ingredient on the counter. Olympic gold, multiple world titles, a biopic with her face on the poster, a built-in platform, a loyal fan base, a clean lane, a clear, straight road to the Hall of Fame. And she traded every gram of it for a man who will not share his address, a music career nobody requested, a movie nobody finished editing, a reality show nobody saw a single frame of, a Twitter war with bloggers who are out-earning her off of her own meltdowns, and a public obsession with proving she is still relevant to people who stopped checking on her weeks ago. May 9th is going to happen. The bell will ring. She might even get her hand raised at the end of 12 rounds. But the legacy died on Big Tiger's microphone. The aura died on her Instagram feed somewhere between the fried okra and the candied yams. The respect died the second she threatened civilians on a corporate broadcast. And the only thing actually growing in this entire situation is the comment section under every single video posted about her, including this exact one you are watching right now. Scroll down. Look at it. It is already moving. It is already filling up by the second. This is not a champion in her prime. This is a villain in freefall. And the most haunting detail, the one I keep returning to at 3 a.m. when I cannot sleep, is that she wrote the entire script herself. She directed it, she starred in it, she edited it, she uploaded it, she pinned it to the top of her own page. And now the rest of us are just watching the premiere together in real time, with the popcorn we didn't even ask for. If your screen feels a little heavier than it did when you started this video, that means you are actually paying attention. Tap the like button. Subscribe if you have not already locked in, because next week I am opening the Papoose file. Names, dates, locations, 2 specific receipts I have personally verified with 2 independent sources who do not know each other and have never spoken. You do not want to miss what is inside that folder. Drop a comment. Real talk only. Can Claressa save herself before May 9th, or is the villain arc already permanent? Tell me what you saw. Tell me what you heard. Tell me what you know that I have not said yet. I'll catch you on the next one. Stay sharp, stay quiet, and keep your screenshots organized in dated folders, because the next 48 hours are about to get extraordinarily loud.